Welcome back to the family. You are locked into episode 2 of Rootz and Good Parenting. I'm Tanya, and I am coming to you live from my kitchen table where I have successfully hidden all the chocolate chips from my daughter.
That's tactical parenting right there. I'm Marcus, and I'm coming to you from my car. Again, because apparently, parked in the driveway counts as alone time if I don't turn the engine off.
Marcus, please. We talked about this in episode 1. Self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you definitely can't parent from a Honda Civic.
Hey, don't disrespect the Civic. This is my sanctuary. But seriously, welcome back, everybody. Last week, we talked about the foundation, building the house, making sure the roof doesn't leak. Today we gotta talk about the ghost in the attic.
Ooh, I like that. The ghosts in the attic. You mean the generational stuff?
Exactly. The because I said so hangover. You know, when you're trying to be this calm, mindful parent, and then your child spills milk for the 3rd time, and suddenly you hear your grandmother's voice coming out of your mouth.
Oh, I know that spirit. 1 minute I'm talking about feelings and validation, and the next minute I'm looking for a switch, and not the light switch.
The switch. See, that's what we're unpacking today. How do we break the cycles of trauma while still raising disciplined children? Because let's be clear, good parenting isn't about letting them run wild. It's about teaching them regulation without breaking their spirit.
That is the key distinction. Discipline means to teach. Punishment often means to hurt. And many of us grew up in homes where love was shown through provision, but discipline was shown through fear.
Right. Do this because I love you versus do this or I'll love you less. And that sticks with you. I remember being scared to tell my dad when I messed up, not because I was worried about the consequence, but because I was worried about the look. You know the look, the silent disappointment.
The I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed look. That hits harder than the belt sometimes. But here's the science part, folks. When children live in fear of their caregiver's reaction, their brains stay in survival mode. They can't learn properly. They can't emotionalize properly. They just survive.
So when we break that cycle, when we say, you can tell me the truth even when you mess up, we're literally rewiring their brain chemistry.
Yes, we're moving them from survival to thriving. But Marcus, it's hard. It is so hard to stop the reflex.
It's muscle memory. That's why I say you gotta catch yourself. I call it the pause button. When you feel that heat rising in your chest, stop. Put your hand up. Tell your kid, Daddy is feeling frustrated right now. I need 1 minute to calm down so I don't say something I don't mean.
I love that because it models emotional regulation. You're showing them, hey, even adults get mad, but here's how we handle it. That is gold. That is better than any lecture you could give them. The mental health check-in. All right, let's shift gears. We talked about us breaking cycles. Now let's talk about spotting when they need help, because sometimes what looks like bad behavior is actually anxiety or depression.
Oh, this is crucial. In our community, we used to call everything acting out or being stubborn, but now we know better. Tanya, what are the signs? Because kids don't always say, Mom, I'm feeling clinically anxious.
No, they don't. They speak in behavior. So if you have a child who was sleeping through the night and suddenly starts having nightmares, that's a flag. If they were potty trained and start having accidents again, that's a regression due to stress.
What about school? My son's teacher told me he was distracted. I thought he just needed to focus.
Distracted can mean a lot of things. It can mean ADHD, yes, but it can also mean worry. If their mind is preoccupied with, is mommy and daddy fighting? Or did I do something wrong? They can't focus on math.
So instead of punishing the distraction, we investigate the cause.
Exactly. Ask open-ended questions. Instead of, why aren't you listening? Try, I noticed you're having a hard time sitting still today. Is your body feeling wiggly or is your mind feeling busy?
That's a good script. Is your body wiggly or is your mind busy? Gives them options because sometimes they don't have the vocabulary.
And we have to destigmatize therapy in our homes. I know some of our elders look at therapy like, what you mean you gotta pay somebody to listen to your problems? Tell me your problems.
Give me that problem. I'll fix it with some tough love and a plate of fried chicken.
Bless them. But mental health professionals are like mechanics for the mind. You wouldn't try to fix your car engine with a prayer and some duct tape if you didn't know what you were doing. Why do that with your child's brain?
That's the truth. Seeking help isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's saying, I love this child so much, I'm getting them the best team available.
The Village Mailbag. Listener question. Now, we love hearing from you all. We have a question in the Village Mailbag this week. This one comes from Keisha in Atlanta. She writes, Hey Tanya and Marcus, I love the podcast. My struggle is patience. I work full-time, come home, and the house is a mess. My kids know not to bother me when I first walk in, but yesterday, my 5-year-old kept pulling on my leg while I was making dinner. I snapped. I yelled really loud. He cried. I cried. Now I feel like I ruined everything. How do I fix this?
Oh, Keisha. First off, hug yourself. You didn't ruin everything. One bad moment does not erase a lifetime of love.
Please hear us on this. Perfection is not the goal. Repair is the goal. You snapped. It happens. We are human. The magic is in what you do after.
Right, the repair. So, Keisha, once you're calm, and you have to be calm first, you go to that child, you get on their level, look them in the eye, and you say, I'm sorry I yelled. I was stressed about dinner, but that's not your fault. I should not have scared you.
And then you reconnect. Let's hug. I love you. Next time I feel stressed, I'm going to take a deep breath instead of yelling. You're teaching them that relationships can survive conflict. That is a huge life lesson.
Because if we never apologize to our kids, they think adults are infallible gods who don't have to say sorry. And then they grow up thinking they can't apologize either.
Exactly. And Keisha, for the future, set the boundary before you walk in the door. Tell them, Mommy is going to be tired when I get home. I need 15 minutes of quiet time to change my clothes and breathe. Then I am all yours.
Give them a job while you do that. You be the guardian of the living room. Make sure nobody touches the couch until I come out. Kids love having a mission.
Yes, gamify the waiting period. That's proactive parenting. Navigating the World. The Talk, Part 2.
We gotta touch on something heavy before we go. We can't talk about Black parenting without talking about the world they live in. Last episode, we mentioned the talk.
Yes, how do we balance protecting them with letting them be children? Because innocence is a luxury not all kids get to keep for long.
It's a tightrope walk. I don't want my son to be afraid to exist, but I also need him to be safe.
I think it comes down to empowerment, not fear. Instead of saying, don't wear that hoodie because people will think you're a criminal, try, people sometimes make unfair judgments based on clothes. You look great, but let's talk about how different places have different rules so you stay safe.
It's about context. You're giving them the code to the matrix without telling them the matrix is out to get them.
Exactly. And we have to remind them of their worth constantly, because the world might try to tell them they're less than. So at home, they need to be more than. They need to be kings and queens.
I tell my son all the time, you are magic. Sounds cheesy, right?
Not cheesy, necessary.
Okay, fair. But I want him to know that his skin, his hair, his voice, it's all powerful. So when he encounters racism or bias or just ignorance, he has a shield. The shield is knowing who he is.
That shield is built by us. Every time we affirm them, we're adding a layer to that armor. Good parenting is the manufacturing plant for that confidence. The Keep It 100 Challenge.
All right, we're coming to the end, but we're not letting you go without homework. We're calling this the Keep It 100 Challenge.
I like challenges. What are we doing?
For the next week, I want every parent listening to catch themselves before they correct their child, just once a day. Pause. Ask yourself, is this behavior dangerous or is it just annoying?
Ooh, that's a good filter. Dangerous versus annoying.
If it's dangerous, running in the street, touching the stove, you intervene immediately. If it's annoying, making noise, wearing mismatched clothes, dancing while brushing teeth, let it go. Let them be kids.
I can do that. I definitely need to let the dancing go. My daughter treats the hallway like a runway every morning.
Let her walk. Document it, laugh about it, but don't stop it. That's their joy. Protect their joy as fiercely as you protect their safety.
Protect their joy. I'm writing that down. That's going on the fridge.
And second part of the challenge, tell them why you love them. Not because you're my son, but specific things. I love how kind you were to your sister. I love how hard you worked on that puzzle.
Specific praise. Got it. Because generic praise gets generic results.
Exactly. Build them up with intention.
Man, Tanya, this was good. I feel lighter just talking about it.
Me too. Remember, family, you are enough. You don't have to be the perfect parent. You just have to be the present parent.
If you messed up today, forgive yourself. Try again tomorrow. Your kids don't need a robot. They need you. Flaws, scars, tired eyes, and all.
We love you all. Thank you for trusting us with your ears and your hearts. If you liked this episode, send it to a cousin, a sibling, a fellow parent in the group chat who needs to hear it.
And hey, if you're sitting in your car listening to this, turn the engine off, go inside, hug them.
Go inside, hug them. That's the mission. Until next time, keep your roots deep and your parenting 100.
Peace and love, family.